Hello everyone, welcome back to RPGs Like to Party. This is the second part of the Sibling Edition of Alone Against the Flame. First of all, I would like to apologise for the delay for this part. I've been in hospital for an operation that I've been needing and looking forward to for a while, and that's all good and done, so let's just start the episode. Enjoy. The motor coach rattles on through the hills, and Silas lapses into silence. The sky darkens behind you, pinks tinting the clouds as the sun descends. Finally, a welcome sight comes into view, a settlement on the crest of a hill. This doesn't look like the pictures you've seen of Ossipee, but perhaps you can persuade Silas to stop while you stretch your legs. Minutes later, a harsh stuttering from the engine interrupts your reverie. Reverie, yeah, I'm so smart. Silas frowns and rattles the gear stick. The motor coach has faltered in its ascent. Silas utters a curse you don't recognize and grinds his teeth, struggling at the wheel. You seem to inch up the hill until you reach the first buildings, low dwellings constructed from a rough red stone. Silas wrestles the coach into a small bay of the road. He scrambles from his seat and makes for the engine compartment. You must now choose to make a roll against Drive Auto or Psychology.
And you go for Psychology.
Okay.
60.
So you fail the roll.
Higher than 50.
No, lower. You need to get lower.
Oh, I didn't know you said higher.
Equal to or less than half the skill value.
Okay.
No. No, you can't roll it again, Janine. Silas opens the engine compartment open and sticks his head inside. The hot metal pops and sizzles. He pokes at various components, then withdraws and wipes his brow, smearing it with dark grease.
Ew.
I ain't sure what's wrong. Might be the oil pressure, might be something knocked off kilter from when we took that spill. Can't do much until the engine cools neither. And with the light failing, I reckon it'll be here through the night. He wipes his hands on a rag. The shadows from your surroundings are already long, and the air is chilly. You feel stiff from the journey, and a night in the rickety coach sounds unappealing. Silas sees your dismay. This here's Amberhead. Miles from any place. I only come through twice a week. But the folks here are good people. May Ledbetter keep a spare room. She'll look after you. Up that alley, turn right, first house on the left. He scratches his cheek, looks again into the engine compartment and spits on the ground. Patooey! Meet me back here at 8 in the morning, and we'll see how we stand. Okay, so you have three options. You can look for May Ledbetter's house.
Mm-hmm.
You can ask Silas where he will spend the night. Or you can challenge him about the breakdown.
I'm gonna look for the house.
You drag your cases between the sullen buildings.
Well, you didn't tell me how to spin the cases. I'll change it.
You drag your cases between the sullen buildings. You feel surprisingly wary considering you have spent all day sitting down. Silas's directions lead you to a modest dwelling with a slate roof. A nameplate reads, Ledbetter, and underneath a sign in neat copperplate reads, Lodging Room. Woohoo! The lane around you is gloomy, but a lamp flickers in the window. A breeze chills your face. You're not about to begin your new life by sleeping in the street. You rap on the weather-beaten door. Always pitchfork. Beautiful.
You could do the sound effects, right? Yeah.
Might as well. After a moment, you hear footsteps inside the house. A bolt is drawn back and the wooden door swings open. A figure with loose curls and a rough-looking house dress peers at you. Her gaze takes in your travelling suit and your cases. Her voice with a slight Irish lilt. Oh no, how do you do Irish?
Top of the morning, do you?
Oh god. Hey. Hello!
Big summer blood?
Woohoo! Big summer blood! Hello! Should I take it?
That was good.
Should I take it as you're looking for a room for the night?
Yes.
You inquire as to her rates, suppressing a grimace.
If only you could see that face.
As far as you've seen, the village does not offer you many alternatives. Oh, you'll find them very reasonable, she says. You look tired. I'm May. Come inside and we'll talk over a cup of tea. The Ledbetter, I keep reading it as bedwetter though. Ledbetter house feels cramped with a low ceiling and simple fittings, but is well kept with the cheerful firecrackers and grates. The aroma of the tea is soothing and the cup warms your fingers. Have you come to oh my god. Bernie Gurney. Bernie. Sticking the baby going into the microwave oven. Have you come to Emberhead for the festival? Asks May. Do you explain what happened with Silas in the coach? Or do you talk about the festival?
Talk about the festival.
Well now, I suppose the festival is about the only reason folks come to Emberhead. I thought you had maybe come to study it or take photographs. Well, it's not tomorrow night, but the night after. I suppose it looks very strange to a passerby. May tops up your tea. The spout chinks against your cup. We've got the beacon, you see. One night every year there's a torchlight procession, and we light the beacons on the cliff. You've never seen the like of it. They say it keeps the spirit of the village alive for another year. It's a celebration. A celebration. She trails off for a moment and blinks. But you didn't come here to listen to me blather.
Belinda blinked. I'm sorry, I had to. I'm so sorry.
Like pomegranates.
Nipples like rivets.
Titanic's rivets, that's what it comes to. And they're like, what, 6-7 inches? Kapow!
Pow!
Pow!
Go on, sorry.
But you didn't come here to listen to me blather. And you must be hungry. I can rustle up you a bit of a stew. How would that be? You ask again about her rates, and May names a price so low you accept it without hesitation. 2 pittance. I'm joking.
That's really what it says?
No. The room is small but comfortable, and the stew dark and hearty. After dinner, you have a couple of hours before your usual bedtime. You've got some options.
Mm-hmm.
You could talk to May some more. You could walk around and get your bearings, or turn in for an early night.
Walk around and get my bearings.
May's brow.
Je do.
As you fuck do. May's brow creases when you announce your intention to take a stroll. Mind how you go, she says.
You changed to finish now. Mind how you go, yeah.
Mind how you go, yeah. She says. Emberhead's surrounded by cliffs, and we don't have your fancy street lamps here. Take the lantern and watch your step. The only guy in this village. I can't remember the name.
Mefanwe. Bacardi and Coke, please, Mefanwe.
Oh, David.
Go get yourself some Bamfan.
I've taken a sip of the furry cup.
I'm taking a sip of the furry cup in my time.
Yeah.
Old lady Fanway over there, she loves the pussy.
Outside, you see what she means. The sky is overcast and only a few glimmers of moonlight peeks from the clouds. Without the heavy lantern, you must be walking in near total darkness. You cannot hope to get an overview of the village tonight. May Street is a narrow passage hemmed in by squat, dark dwellings. At the end, however, it opens up. A wide thoroughfare leads off to your right. A crude sign names it Silbury Street. To the left, a few yards away from your light, picks out the crooked post of a simple fence, and beyond that, the ground drops away into darkness. You take a couple of steps closer, but you can see nothing. Air from below cools your face, and some instinct makes you look around. An ink-black figure stands in the road about 20 yards behind you. It stares at you. You form a sudden impression that it will run at you and throw you over the cliff edge. This is unsettling. Seeing it's been spotted, the figure slips away down an alley. You can either return to the safety of the Ledbetter/bedwetter, or you can confront it. Oh. As you approach, the figure takes a pace back, then another. It slips down an alley between two buildings. To catch your target, you must make a track roll. What is your track?
10%. So I'll give you what?
10 or lower.
Oh,
89. You failed.
oh my god. I'll never get high ones.
The figure moves fast, with almost silent steps. You are hampered with a heavy lantern in an unfamiliar environment. You emerge from that alleyway into a dusty courtyard and detect no sign of your quarry. You scratch around for a few minutes, but the figure has gone. It seems unwise to continue your stroll through unknown dark streets while this threatening presence is around. You head back to the Ledbetter house. May lets you in and settles back in her chair. Soon she begins to yawn. I believe I'll turn in I believe I'll turn in. When would you like your breakfast? When would you like your breakfast?
What time do I have to eat, guys? 8?
Yeah.
6 in the morning.
Whoa.
Whoa.
So early.
Yeah, I'm sure I've got to get up and breakfast and I've got to walk back.
As May stands, you hear a clunk behind you. You look over your shoulder, but all you can see is a wooden door securely closed. May tuts. The young lady of the house. She'll have been listening to us. Roof! Come and greet our guest. There is a short pause, and the door creaks open. Two wide eyes peer at you from the gap, between tousled hair and a rough nightgown. What do you say? The eyes blink. Pleased to meet you.
Why is she not Irish?
'Cause she's not the mother. Pleased to meet you. I don't know how to do Irish in a high voice. Pleased to meet you. Potatoes, potatoes.
There's nothing like that.
Much bekomen. Daar kom ik tomato.
Now get back to bed. The door closes again. My daughter Ruth. 10 years this summer. She's a delight and a torment all in one. Don't worry, she'll sleep in with me. Shall not disturb you. Good night now. You retire to your room. It is a little chilly, but you are too tired to worry about the lighting the fire. The sheets are clean and the bed soon warms up. The silence outside is strange after living in a town for so long, but soon you nod off.
Now, for the ad break, here listen to the sounds of potatoes and Janine.
Kom ik tomato. Halt det på, lämna det på. Här kom ik tomato.
Like at the door, eat a poo.
Här kom ik lyssna.
We hope you enjoyed that little music production from Janine called Potatoes. Now, on with the show.
You dream of fire in the crates.
What? Let me have a look. Corsicating.
The fuck is corsicating?
Giving out, I think.
Oh. What a beautiful chocolate man. You dream of fire in the crate. What's the word again?
I forgot now.
Corsicating.
Lägg med getting.
Colours shimmering through the dancing tongues of flame. At first they are tiny, almost microscopic. Microscopic. But they grow and grow until a kaleidoscope inferno spills from the fireplace, spreading across the floor, up the sheets. Why was that funny? Because it's up the sheets.
Yeah.
Turn your penis.
Ah, my penis.
Ah, my pubes!
I have no pubes now. They singed off.
Ooh, imagine the smell though afterwards.
Oh, I don't want to.
Burnt pubis.
That was the chair. That was the chair. That was the chair.
You You can't do that and lean and go, it's the chair.
I just shifted myself and the chair made a noise.
You wake with a start. Daylight glints through the curtains. You get up and examine the crate, blinking the sleep from your eyes. It is quite cold. If you have taken any damage, you may heal 1 point, but you didn't, so you had a nice sleep. May seems to have no running water, but a supplied summoner's ceramic jug. You freshen up at the washstand and go in. She cooks a hearty breakfast and leaves you in peace to eat. At about 7:30, you are paid up, packed, and ready to go. You bid May goodbye, and she wishes you the best for your new career in Arkham. You are already tired of your heavy bags. Hopefully Silas has repaired the motor coach and you can resume your long journey. A sourpuss he might be, but the old driver seemed to understand his vehicle well enough. You pause to check your watch. Still 20 minutes early. And round the final corner, the motor coach is gone.
Bastard.
You put your bags down and search the area, trekking up and down slopes and around corners. At the edge of the village, you trace the long road back as it winds across the hills. 8 o'clock comes and goes. There is no coach to be seen. A passing villager notices your bags. Looking for the bus? I heard him take off at first light. He's due back in 3 or 4 days. If you need a place to stay, May Ledbetter rents a room. The man raises his hat to you and strolls on into the village. You curse Silas under your breath. Perhaps he went for parts, but you wonder if the old goat has stranded you here on purpose. May is doing laundry and looks surprised to see you again. Forgot something. When you explain the situation, she offers to store your bags while you try to arrange alternative transport. You're grateful to relinquish the load. Nobody here has anything like a car. She strokes her chin and narrows her eyes. Maybe you could find somebody with a horse and a cart for your bags. I could ask around later. Try Mr. Winters in the village hall. He'll know anyone will. Or ask among the artisans. Their workshops are first left on Silbury Street. She reaches over and squeezes your wrist. Don't worry. I don't see you sleeping in the street, money or no money. You thank May and turn to face the village. You wander the streets of Emberhead without any particular destination in mind. The village is built on a relatively flat upland with splendid views. To the north, the hazy tips of the white mountains reach for the heavens. To the south, the sparkling waters of Lake Winnipesaukee? Winnipesaukee? Oh, I was right. Touch the horizon. The village itself takes less than 5 minutes to cross from edge to edge. You arrive on the winding road to the west. The only other road leads to the south, following a lower ridge of land as it turns east. In the southwest of the village, an open grassy space borders a ruined church, its graveyard cresting the cliffs. To the northeast, the three main thoroughfares meet at a raised black metal structure. It looms stark against the blue sky. You may now ask about transport at the local general store. Seek out the village hall. Wait. Walk down to the lower level and check out the eastern road. Examine the large metal structure. Explore the church or look for local people with their own transport needs.
Look for people with their own transport. No, explore the church.
You cross the street towards the church. As you glance to your left, your gaze alights on the large metal structure. Something bothers you about its positioning. You back up and look again. Yes! Emberhead's central thoroughfare points directly to the structure. This seems too precise to be a coincidence. You press on and draw into the shadow of the church. The building is in a sorry state. The top of the steeple is missing. A ragged gash of splintered board marks its absence, and the floors beneath it have collapsed. It appears to have torn through the roof of the main building as it fell. Only the back half is still intact. The white paint where once covered the church was yellowed and peeled. It seems safe enough to explore the rear section. Old pews are stacked against the wall, choked with mildew. Most of the windows are broken. You guess the church has been disused for about 20 years. It's very specific.
I know, yeah.
There is little more to interest you. Make a roll. You may have a bonus die. Roll the 10's percentage of die twice and take the lower result if you succeed.
Roll again.
So you're rolling these two.
Right.
Alright, roll them.
For what?
Just roll them. That's 11. So it's a ride roll. What is your ride? That's not 11, by the way. That's 71.
5.
But you can roll this one again. 81. It's not going well for you.
No.
You're beginning to get your bearings in Emberhead. Would you like to explore some more? You could either ask for transport at the local general store, seek out the village hall, walk down to the lower level and check out the eastern road, examine the large metal structure, explore the church, or look for local people.
Go down and explore the road.
The air is fresh, and the walk down to the lower ridge invigorating. You notice cultivated fields stretching through the lower lands from Emberhead, and among the crops some livestock but no horses. Are you going to have to make your own onward journey on foot?
No.
Further down, the road skirts the edge of the ridge and descends. There are a few scattered hovels there, with signs of habitation. They are set a substantial distance apart. As you examine them, a door opens and an older man steps out. He wears a bedraggled suit that carries a piece
Bedraggled or bedraggled? Did it say bedraggled? Let me see it.
Bedraggled?
Yeah, bedraggled will do.
What is it?
Bedraggled. Not bedraggled, bedraggled.
I totally said that. But carries a piece of cloth, which he tosses over his head like a hood. As he does this, he sees you and freezes. Make a look roll. So what is your look? Do you remember what we said it to?
Oh, look. Wait, so look is even look with your eyes. 65.
Okay, roll that. She needs to get 65 or under.
Yes!
28! Very nice. You passed one.
Finally, it's about time.
The man looks up at the village, scanning the cliff tops. You get a brief flash of his face. There is something unsettling about it. Then he turns to walk away from the road, but as he does, he raises a hand and slowly beckons to you. Do you follow, or do you not?
Follow.
You follow the man around the outcrop. He glances up, then steps between two rocks and vanishes. Close inspection reveals a narrow channeling leading into the cliff. There is just enough light to see a small, natural chamber within. You'll be uncomfortably close to this man if you go inside. Do you follow him, or keep your distance?
Follow.
With wary steps, you squeeze between rocky outcrops and enter the concealed chamber, almost banging your head on the low ceiling. The man settles back against the wall and watches until you draw close, then slides back his hood. Make a sanity roll. So, what is your sanity?
Where is sanity? 40.
So you need to roll a 40 or lower. 63. You fail. You lose 1 sanity. Some of the man's face remains. A strip from the side of his jaw to his right eye socket is healthy and pale, if aged. But the left side is confused by an angry scar tissue. One eye droops, hooded by melted flesh, and the nostril on that side is pulled open to leave a gaping hole. The disfigured man studies your reaction with his one good eye. Name's Arbogast. Willard Arbogast. Guess I don't need to ask what brings you here to Emberhead. Do you claim to come for the festival, or do you admit that Silas has stranded you here?
I admit I'm stranded.
The swollen mouth gives a little twist downward. Son of a devil has rat's blood. His fingers tighten into a fist. Arbogast fixes you with a lopsided yet intense stare. You seek me out, eh? He looks up at the cave ceiling. Which one of them told you about me? Never mind, it doesn't matter. Truth is, they fear what I know. They'd never come at me direct. Don't want to end up like old Arbogast. He giggles. The high-pitched sound is all the more grotesque coming from those bloated lips.
Like this.
Then abruptly his gaze turns to iron.
What?
Iron.
Iron, alright.
Iron.
People was like, iron, what's on?
Iron. Emberhead died 40 years ago, shattered by flame, consumed by the stars themselves. The ancient hills cleansed by inferno, and from the blackened ground came the new life, as in the way of all things. The Abenaki knew. Arbogast wipes his nose in his sleeve. Except none of that happened. The flames were turned away. The necessary death postponed a year and a year again, and now those up there, he stabs a scrawny finger at the ceiling, think themselves saviors of the village, that they can defy the great old ones. Ia, Cthulhu! He shakes his head. With strange eons, their lives matter less with the blink of an eye. A fierce intelligence burns in his gaze, but you suspect Arbogast may be quite insane. Should his mood change, it would not be difficult for him to seize one of the large rocks and crack your skull with it. You can either Ask him about the Abenaki. Ask him about the Great Old Ones. Ask him about the villagers, or you can leave.
What are my choices again, sorry?
Ask about the Abenaki.
Yeah.
Ask about the Great Old Ones. Ask
Great
him...
Old Ones.
You sure? A smile of sickly rapture comes over Abergas's scarred features. The Great Old Ones, the Windwalker, Cthulhu, the Crawling Chaos, like the rest of them spread their gnats upon the earth. You think your actions matter, yes? Your existence matters? He shakes his head. We're the dust that shifts in the breeze, the most that drift in the last rays of sun. You are nothing, we are nothing.
Oh, give me a shiver down my spine.
He gathers himself into silence. Just when you think the sermon is over, he stirs. Here you are closest to the living flame, not that belching green column beloved of Kingsport. I mean it which preceded all life on earth. It which lit the void while our world was formed. It was infinite fuel, infinite patient, it will consume all. Abergas runs a hand through his one-sided hair. A wide strip is missing on the left side, displaced by scar tissue. He climbs to his feet. You may permanently add 2 points to your Cthulhu Mythos skill.
Like what?
2 points to your Cthulhu Mythos, wherever it is in the thing.
So, what, do I just write 2?
Yeah. Abergas pauses in the shadows. There's something about you, something the previous ones never had. Perhaps you can make it, though. Make it through. If you want to hear more, meet me again after dark. 9 o'clock. The graveyard on the other side. He lifts a gnarled finger. Don't be followed, else I won't be there. This ain't the time of year for a showdown. Abergas wipes his nose on his sleeve again. Go now, their eyes are on me, and stranger, don't try to run, you'll never make it. You emerge into the sunlight blinking, and more than a little shaken. You have discovered a secret. You turn back to the road and your core business, getting out of Emberhead and onward to Ossipee. The ridge gives you a good viewpoint from which you can see the course of the road. It winds with the hills disappearing into woodland for a while before emerging further on. You lose sight of it somewhere between a second patch of woodland. By your best estimation, this is at least a 6 or 7 miles distance. You see no settlements or traffic. It may be worth taking a chance on walking. The weather is still mild, but you will need supplies before you attempt it. You are beginning to get your bearings in Emberhead. Would you like to explore some more? So we could look for transport, or ask at the general store, seek out the village hall.
Seek out the village hall.
The village hall backs against the cliff at the east end of Silsbury Street. It's the largest building you've seen so far in Emberhead. It is, however, locked and shuttered. You walk around, peering through the gaps in the shutters. There seems to be one large room, presumably for community meetings, and a smaller annex that serves as an office and archive. One of the windows is bricked up, but at the main door you can see no posted opening hours. Mr. Winters doesn't open up mornings this time of year, says a grey-garbed woman passing by. Best come back this afternoon. You ask whether the office has a telegraph. Don't know, she shrugs. Who would we call? You'll have to try again later. Let's see, so we can ask at the general store. We've looked at the metal structure, haven't we?
No, I'll look at the metal structure.
Walk up the approach, the most central of the village's major streets. It points directly at the odd metal structure. As you emerge from the shade of the nearby buildings, you are greeted by a magnificent panorama spread from the north to the southeast. The last colours of fall tint the hills in a sleepy gold. The structure, by contrast, is made from uncompromising iron singed black. It supports an immense curved platform at the level of your head. Further struts snake up a central point. It looks like they have been some kind of sculpture at one time, but are now twisted and melted beyond recognition. Recognition. An older gentleman passes, looking at you with I don't even know what the word that is.
What? Roomy?
Roomy eyes. I don't know what that is. Bedroom eyes. I'm an old man.
Like the same face. Crazy eyes.
Are you here for the festival? He asked. That's the beacon. When they light it night after next, you'll be able to see it 10 miles away. He gives a little nod of satisfaction, then moves on, leaning on his walking stick. Now you notice bundles of wood tied and stacked against the buildings nearby. Perhaps this festival would be an interesting diversion, but you really must head to Arkham as soon as possible. Make a spot hidden roll.
Okay. So I've got 25 on my spot hidden.
So you want to roll a 25 or...
With this one and this one.
Yes.
Please don't be high.
1. As if you actually did that.
First time for everything.
69.
Yes! 0 for 2.
As you walk away from the iron structure, you notice something strange about the construction of the village. All the wooden dwellings are concentrated in the east and southwest. To the east and northeast, closest to the beacon, the buildings are formed from dark brick and clay. Does this mean the settlement began as the beacon and spread west? Basically, it's going to the general store.
Okay.
Or look for local people to ask.
Go to the store.